when it's all said and done, what do you want to be remembered by when you leave this earth?
Like definitely one of the greatest of all time. And like super like just like myself and I don't know, inspiring.
It's going to be inspiring.
Yeah.
The greatest.
Yeah, like yeah, because the artists that I really, really love are artists that inspire me. So it's like, yeah, I want to be one of those guys.
What's up, y'all? I'm Ron, and this is Around Our Creating Yourself, a place where artists and creators alike can come on and share their unique perspectives about why and how they create the art that they create. You know what happens here on The Art of Creating Yourself. We like to give the guests, the artists, the creators, the chance to give their complete, full introduction. So, without further ado, we have Girl. What's happening?
What's good, Ron?
So, why don't you tell us a little bit about where you're from, the crafts that you like to participate in, and what you're here for today.
Yeah, okay, dope. Yeah, I was about to say, I'm Girl. I'm a artist, producer, and a songwriter from Cincinnati.
That's kind of crazy to me because we were just talking about, like, I don't know anybody from Ohio, and like you don't know anybody from like the Bay, and it's like it's dope that we can just hop on a video call and just, yo, I'm an artist from Ohio, and like I'm somebody who produces a podcast in the Bay, and now we're here.
Yeah, it's That's few crazy. Of us. Yeah, honestly, yeah, that makes sense. It's crazy, the internet, you know.
Yeah, it's the powers that be.
It's a few of us though. Like, there's a lot of really like crazy, really really talented artists here. It's like really random, but Kid Cudi's from Ohio. We got Trippie Redd.
Cudi.
We got
Trippie Redd.
A bunch of like kind of smaller artists, but like low key big.
The OJ's, Bone Thugs, right?
Facts.
Those are all from Ohio. So like, what's up with the music community in Ohio? How is that like today?
Yeah, it's popping. It's super duper crazy because I think it's honestly, I was just watching like an interview or something about like Virginia has a really crazy music scene too. That like Pharrell's from there. They got Benny Blanco's from there. Hella people, and like I think it's just there's nothing to do. Like there's really nothing to do in Ohio and like all these other states. So yeah, what else are you gonna do, honestly? Except for like drink or like do drugs or like make something, basically.
Or make some sort of music or be creative somehow, right?
Yeah, for real. Like it's so slow out here. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, that's how it is in like a lot of places too, where like music or some other creative outlet is like the only thing that you can do, like kind of like stay out of trouble or like, you know, find members of this like same, just find people that you honestly just like vibe with and just like share some sort of like camaraderie, or can just, you know, hang around without getting into any sort of, you know, institutional trouble, whatever you want to call it. But to me that's kind of like staying safe in your own little small community is. So like what I'm going to ask you is, how important is just community to you from an artist perspective?
I mean, I feel like community is like super important. It's kind of like if you're like sharing your music or like sharing anything, it's like you really can't do anything without like people around you, like, you know, supporting you and you supporting them. And like it's like literally impossible. You're literally just dropping shit for nobody. So
I was talking to my homie the other day, and I was like, what would happen if there was like this artist who is the greatest artist of all time, like basically Michael Jackson caliber, I should say, dropped the next Thriller, right? Which a lot of people just say is the greatest album of all time.
Yes.
But had no backing or no audience or whatever, and just had it sitting on a hard drive somewhere. Like, what would happen? Like, there would be no Thriller, or there would be no result of all like the artistic creativity and like the potential of that.
That'd be tragic.
I think it's amazing how important it is to actually have people to support not only your art, but what happens when they support your art or anybody else's art is community builds on each other, and eventually that art gets out there. Hopefully, that's what
Yeah.
happens. Like the art gets out there, and that's what it's all for, right?
Yeah. Literally, yeah, that's literally what it's all for. It's like, yeah. I mean, I guess you can make music for yourself.
That is true.
Yeah. Like I make some music for myself, like
Okay.
that I'll never ever ever show anybody. Probably, I guess, but
Yeah.
mostly, yeah. Like you make music for people, obviously.
Yeah. Because it's just another form of communicating and just like sharing feelings.
Mm-hmm.
You just want to make sure that the things that you're going through, that the things that you like or things that you're feeling, other people are feeling too. And
Yeah.
that's where connections come through.
Yeah. Literally. That's
Yeah.
right on.
All right. So another place where community is really important is in this Web3 NFT space, right?
Yeah.
And you kind of bridged your talents and your career, and you're continuing to do this with the Smiles brand, with your Wahid song, The Ride. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man. So yeah, I'm a Smiles fan member. I
Gang,
love
gang.
Smiles. I love literally everything about the whole project. Like
Mm-hmm.
one of my friends put me onto it, and like I saw the art and I was like, wow, like this is really 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 fucking detailed. And then I like saw the clothes and everything and I was like, man, like there's some type of sauce to this. Like I don't know exactly,
Mm,
like I can't put into words, but it's like the sauciest NFT that I've ever seen in my life. And so I was like,
that's
yeah, yeah, that's one for me. So I got it.
that's what I'm
So I
getting to.
got one of them, and I was just like in the Discord, and I was like, dang, like I'm in Web3 now. I make music. Like, how can I like contribute in some type of way, like to this community that I'm in? And I was like, well, I make music, so why not make us a song to celebrate Wahid because it was his birthday on the day that I dropped
Mm,
it, and we
mm,
hit 1/8 floor like the same kind of like time. And so I was like, yeah,
mm.
this is perfect. And I dropped it and minted it. Like it was my first thing that I ever minted. So it was just really fun. Like it was fun.
Like, yeah, that's even like a dope thing to do, just to like create a token of a song, and just put it out there.
Yeah,
It's like, oh, like you can own a copy of this song if you feel like it,
exactly.
or if
Yeah.
you resonate with it, or if you want it as an NFT, and that's really dope. Like,
Yeah.
what do you think about where music NFTs are headed as a whole?
As a whole, I feel like we're still really early, but
Mm,
like I feel like they're gonna really get like really really start picking up either this year or like next year. But there's a lot of really cool stuff going on, like
mm,
in the space, like with sound. There's like, Latasha and Zora and everything over there. There's a bunch of really, really dope artists like dropping music in Web3. But I feel like it's
yeah.
still super, I still feel like it's early because I don't think people have like, they haven't been massively adopted as like PFPs and like stuff like that really have. But
Mm,
I'm excited. I'm super excited to see like what
yeah.
everybody else does with it and like what's possible, Loki. I feel like it's gonna get crazy.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think there's still like a lot of like Web 2 adoption in terms of like the music and the media, obviously, that we still like listen to and things like that. But I think eventually, just like Web 2 took over from Web 1, like there'll be some sort of Web 3 media adoption, right? And you'll be
Yeah.
like listening to NFTs through platforms, and that's just what music will be, or that's just what media will be,
Yeah.
and that's gonna be the crazy part, honestly.
That is gonna be the crazy part. I can't wait for that.
So the next part I want to talk about is collaboration.
Alright.
I honestly believe that collaboration is the bridge in terms of trying to get anywhere you're trying to go. right? Like we talked about, you have your community.
Mm-hmm.
But when your community comes together and interacts with another community through collaboration, you get to build a bigger community, and then your personal brand gets to skyrocket, and the community gets bigger. Everybody wins, honestly, in my opinion. So, what does collaboration mean to you?
I feel like collaboration is super duper important. Like I feel kind of the
Mm-hmm.
same as you. Um, I want to say though too, like with the song that I dropped on, like the first one that I dropped for the Smiles fam,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't collaborate with anyone. I literally just made that thing. Like I
Yeah.
made the beat, I mixed it, I recorded it, I did everything. I made the cover and like all that stuff. But I feel like collaboration low key brings everything to like, or has the potential to bring everything to like a new level low key, because I
Mm-hmm.
think like when you're collaborating, it's like everybody bringing their best like in a little pot, like putting their best in it, and then it's just like triple, it's just like it's just exponentially better than like what you could really do by yourself. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And honestly, I think it creates like new sounds too, right?
Yeah,
Like
definitely.
sometimes working with like the same artists that you're used to, or like the same types of sounds that you're used to, get a bit like repetitive, and like people start to sound the same, artists start to sound the same, creators start to sound the same.
Yeah.
But through collaboration, do you think that there's an avenue to just up your potential just by creating new sounds?
Yes, like literally yes. I was just thinking about um my friend who's another artist. Her name is Tiger Good. She lives here. Definitely check
Mm.
her out. Her music is really, really, really good.
Shout out to Tiger.
But I learned so much. Like we work so much together because we write.
Mm.
We're like a writing team with one other artist named Coldest Created. We're named 333, and we
Okay.
write for other people, like other artists and stuff. So we work together all the time, and all of us are really, really talented. And I was like recording a couple days ago with my friend, with just me and him. Not Tiger there, not KC there, and
Mm.
like it got to the point where I had to write a bridge or had to like write a breakdown for this song, and I
Yeah.
literally was like, okay, well, how would Tiger write this bridge? Like, what's the like? I literally thought of a song that we made together where she wrote a like really really good breakdown, and I literally just took that and like could do it, but I couldn't have written like I could not have written a good bridge. I feel like without like rubbing off like I feel like we rub off on each other and like
Yeah.
make each other better.
So you guys are like a collaboration of three people that collaborate with and work with other artists, and you said you kind of like write
Yeah.
verses for them, or like write songs for them.
Yeah, like we'll get like randomly like one of the people we work with, he gets a bunch of people just like asking him for demos. So
Mm-hmm.
like he'll get like Cash Page or like Kalani is like looking for a
Mm-hmm.
song, and then he'll be like, okay, like I could write this, but like you guys could probably write it better, Loki, because like we like have that perspective and we have this like certain type of vibe, and so we just like literally just make demos together, send them out, make our own songs together, send them out. So we're just in the studio together, like literally all the time, just like cranking it out, writing for other people,
Just,
writing for us, just like yeah,
just always, it's always having that like creative spirit around, and just always
yeah,
having that kind of like, I guess when you create with other people consistently, you have that kind of like, what's the word I want to use? Like you said, you were bouncing off of ideas, and
yeah,
like you sort of like get each other's styles, and you sort of like remember them, and you get to use them in your own work, right? In your own art, and it comes, their perspective kind of comes your perspective just by being around them so much.
yeah, literally, yeah.
And so in a sense, you guys are like rubbing off on each other and just always collaborating with each other, right?
Yes, absolutely, it's insane. We're like
Yeah.
becoming one or something.
Yeah, just like three people that are like just slowly blending into like
Yeah.
one collective and one
Yes.
sound. And honestly, that's the goal. Like, when I guess, let me ask you actually, is that the goal of being in a collective and being in your specific collective
I
of
mean,
333?
it wasn't the goal. It wasn't the goal, but now like that it's kind of just happening, it's like this is dope. Like low key it gets scary
Yeah,
sometimes because sometimes you can't even tell our voices apart like on the song, and it's like what the hell, you know? But it's cool though. It's really cool.
yeah. Like you're blending, but you might be blending too well,
Yeah,
like where there's no
exactly.
differentiation. And like, oh, I mean, like I was gonna say before, like I would think that the goal of a collective would be to maximize everybody else's potential, but in a way that works together. It almost seems like it was meant to be almost.
Yeah,
You know, like these three people were put into a position not because they wanted to, but because like it sounded right,
yeah,
you know, and it was made right,
yes.
you
That's
know.
literally what happened to us. Just
Mm-hmm.
so crazy. Like we just happened to be in the same place in the studio at the same time,
Uh-huh.
made a song that night just because, and then bam, now we're a freaking collective. Like now we hang
Now it's
out.
y'all.
It's weird.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So I mean, you guys do a lot of work for yourselves. You guys do a lot of work, like you said, the demos for other people. Like you said, Kaylani. Shout out to Kaylani. Kaylani from the Bay.
She's dope. Is she from the Bay?
Kaylani from the Bay.
Dang, that's lit.
Yeah, shout out to Gang. Um, but when you have like this workload or like so many ideas that you could create or do at one time, how do you balance and prioritize what needs to be done? Like I don't know about right now or oh
Poorly.
what should I do first or what should I do first? How does that thought process go though?
Oh man, like poorly. I'm honestly trying to get better at that.
Yeah,
But
cause it,
um, the thought process, I guess, is just like what's honestly. I just go with how I feel. Like
mm,
that's the biggest thing. I don't know if that's good. I don't know if that's bad, but like I just literally try to just as much as I can just do exactly what I feel like is what I want to do.
okay, because like honestly, I kind of feel the same way because at the end of the day, no one can tell you what the right move is for you
Yeah.
because they haven't been in your shoes and they haven't been in your position or whatever. So it's like if you're always doing what you're feeling, that's always going to be right to you no matter what, you
Yeah,
know.
literally.
And there's only so much time in a day, so you can only do so much, you know,
Yeah.
and you can only create so much or collab so much or whatever. But you always got to do like what's true to you.
100%.
Right? On that same note, kind of as a independent artist and as like an artist in a collective, you understand that there are external like factors, right? Like there are like outside influences and you know things like that that often have a lot of influence on like I don't know if a song blows up or if a video or whatever gets a lot of views or like if people like this more than that algorithms or
Right.
everything of that nature. How do you factor that into creating?
Man. I mean, I was literally just thinking about this, which is crazy. But
Mm-hmm.
like, I don't know. I go back and forth. Like sometimes I get super discouraged, like if something doesn't hit the way I wanted it to, or like, you know, just like doesn't get received how I wanted it. And then I'll be like, I'll go back and forth and be like, you know what? Like once I get some clarity, I'll be like, all right, I can't control that. I can't really control so many things. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so I feel like as long as I feel like I did everything that I could to like, on my end, then I can't really be mad at like, you know, if it hits or if it doesn't hit or whatever. It's like I just gotta leave that up to God or the universe or whatever. Like I can't really control that. And it's frustrating as hell though. Cause sometimes you feel like, damn, I put so much into this and then it just literally falls flat and then it's just like, damn. But then it's like, hey, like I'm gonna be making music forever. So it's like and sometimes it takes like a year, 2 years for a song to like pop off or like whatever. So it's like, I mean, it's okay. But that's like one of the hardest things ever, honestly. Literally.
Just to keep that level head, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Because it gets sad. It gets like dark sometimes.
Yeah, I can imagine like putting something out and thinking like you know, it might not be not amazing to other people, but everybody views art and everybody views everything in like their own perspective in their own ways. So everybody has a personal relation with whatever art you're putting out, and you have your own personal relation to the art that you're putting out. So it can get kind of, I guess, personal at times.
Yeah,
And
extremely personal. Like
yeah,
extremely, extremely personal. But then actually, there's this Web3 artist named Fifi Wrong. I don't know if you've heard of her, but
no,
um, she's like big in the space. She's like always helping
okay,
keep on board like musicians and she was trying to tell me like, I was talking to her because I was like, man, like, like I don't know if like this meant I think I just did it wrong. Like I don't know if this is going as well as I wanted. And then she was like,
mm-hmm.
listen, like you have to learn to like detach yourself from the art. Like once you put it out, it's not yours anymore. It's like it's not really up to you. It's just like you gotta
Mm-hmm.
detach that. And like that doesn't have anything to do with like your worth as an artist and all that. And I was like, damn, she's just so right. Like she's like literally so right.
That's crazy to think about because it's literally your art. Like
Yeah.
you're the one who's creating it, you're the one that's putting it out there. But when it's out there, it's no longer your art. It's like your child is growing up, and spreading like its own wings and stuff, and finding its own
Yep.
path in life, and it's no longer up to you
Yeah.
about like what happens after you send it off.
Yep. After it leaves the nest,
Yeah.
hey, what are you
You
gonna
just
do?
sink or swim with it.
Yeah, like
Honestly.
if it falls to the ground, like hey, like it's on my hands.
Yeah, I can't control that anymore. I mean, you can do your promo, you can do whatever content you want to do around it, but at the end of the day,
Yeah.
it falls into whoever's going to consume it or whoever's going to look at it. And like you said, like it could take a year or it could take 2 years or like
Yeah.
whenever you drop something, the time might not be right for that specific project or that specific piece of art.
Right.
So like, you think there's ever a right time to drop anything? And how do you go about knowing like, all right, this is the time I should drop this?
Yeah. There definitely is a
Mm-hmm.
right time, and I feel like it's just a feeling. I don't even know
Yeah.
anything else to say about it.
Like, hey, like I mean, honestly, that's what it comes down to, though. Like, I personally believe that there's no right time because if you look at it kind of like that perspective you were talking about, where it's going to take maybe a couple of years for something to blow up, or maybe now is not like the perfect time for something to be in the space that it's in creatively,
Yeah.
then it's like you're looking at a long-term journey regardless.
Right.
Right? So whenever you drop it, it's whenever it drops. But after that, like it doesn't mean that you can't create more while this is happening. Like everything that you create is building on top of things that you've already done, and you're already like collaborating with yourself in a sense, because now as you're waiting, things are starting to stack on each other and you're building this foundation. So at the end of the day, it's the right time is kind of, I guess, subjective to whoever's looking at it.
That makes
If you
sense.
think of it as a marathon, then if you're trying to be here for the next 10 years, especially in like a Web3 setting,
Yeah.
then the right time is always,
That makes sense. I see where you're coming from.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But I feel like I disagree.
Okay. I mean, there could be a specific right time. I'd like to hear it.
Yeah, I
Or,
mean, like, I feel like, yeah, like, it can be too early or it can be too late or, like, it can be, like, all these things. Like, I feel like you gotta feel it out, Like,
mm-hmm.
what are the people feeling? What is the vibe? Like, you gotta read the room.
read your community.
Yeah, exactly.
See what they're feeling.
So,
I feel like eventually we'll get to a point in music where, or even just all art, where it's more like the NFT space, and people will let you know exactly what their ideas are for your art without it coming off as like pushy or like selfish or whatever have you. Like, and the creation of music will be more of a collective experience, because like you said, everything that you create right now is personal.
Yeah.
right? You know, and it's real personal. But I feel like, and again, community is a trigger word here, but once you have the community, once you have the audience that will eventually grow into a collective space, you know, they'll let you know what exactly you should drop or what exactly you shouldn't drop based on how they're feeling it. And you'll be
Mm,
able to literally like read the room eventually in these like Web3 created spaces.
damn.
So I mean that what do you think about that collaboration in the future? Like listening to somebody that's not in that studio with anybody you're from for advice.
Ah, man, that I would be down for that. Like, I feel like that's low key a cheat code. It's like you can like literally like feel the temperature of like how it's gonna go low key. I think that's fire.
Mm. Does it? And do you think does it kind of like you said it's a cheat code? Does it kind of take away from the experience of like I guess not knowing how well a song is going to do and like the song actually turning out really well? Like, could there
Mm.
be drawbacks from actually like the creative part of an artist and just like putting your work out there and seeing how it does rather than already knowing like okay this is kind of what they want so I should give it to them.
Yeah, I could feel that too, cause like sometimes you can't listen to like what people. I feel like also sometimes you can't even like listen to anybody.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Read the room but make sure it's real quiet.
yeah, just like do yourself. Yeah, like yeah. I don't even know how to. It's really weird, but I feel like you gotta do you and read the room. It just
Mm.
depends. I don't even know, but yeah, that would actually probably fuck a lot of shit up. Yeah.
All right, so I got one more overarching question for you.
Right.
All right, one more. When it's all said and done, what do you want to be remembered by when you leave this earth?
Um. Like definitely one of the greatest of all time,
Mm.
and like super like just like myself, and I don't know, inspiring.
Mm. It's going to be inspiring,
Yeah.
be the greatest.
Yeah. Like
I mean,
yeah, because the artists that I really really love are artists that inspire me. So it's like, yeah, I want to be one of those guys.
and that's where you end it.
Let's go.
So your definition of success would be being greatest of all, one of the greatest of all time, and inspiring others to do the same
Yeah.
or to do whatever they want to do.
Yeah. To do whatever they
That's
wanted.
fire.
Yeah.
That's fire. I mean, I'd like to thank you for coming on the platform and giving us your perspective. This is
Thanks for
back to
having
back
me.
episodes. No problem. This is back to back episodes where I get to say this and somebody knows what I mean. So go ahead and chill yourself. Tell us what you got coming up.
Show myself. Oh man.
Go
Okay.
for it.
Well, I'm working on making, I guess, a couple things. So
Okay.
I'm working on like making this character girl and
Mm,
building this world out into like a digital. It's gonna be a digital comic first, and then it's gonna be like a walkable, like metaverse kind of space.
mm.
So that's like really long term. But immediately,
Okay.
I'm working on this gallery for like uh female and non-binary like musicians and artists to like showcase their work and sell their NFTs, and whether it's beats or like songs or videos or whatever. I definitely want to just like get, you know, because there's really not that many like female producers and like stuff like that and engineers and all
Mm.
that. So I want to like gather all of them and then have like kind of make like a little like a platform that I can like direct anybody to like check out all of our stuff, you know?
That's dope. That's dope. Well, again, I'd like to thank you for coming on the platform, giving your perspective. If there's anything else you want to say, now would be the time to say it.
I don't know. Stay lit.
Yeah. Go join the Web3 community. You know,
Yeah.
we on the up and up. Come holler at us before we get 5 8.
Definitely though, yeah. For real.
Yo,
We
we
are
moving
getting there for sure.
in. I'd like to thank everybody else who listened to the platform, podcast, or video, or consumed it in any way, shape, or form. like, comment, subscribe, do whatever you have to do to support the platform. I'd appreciate it, and we'd appreciate it over here. Go stream some music. Go make some music. Go buy an NFT. Go inspire some people.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. All right, that's us signing off. Peace.
Bye.